something fabulous and wonderful speech. So, third speaker, Robert Quatton, wash those hands. Wash those hands. Advanced communicator pros, Robert Quatton.
Have you ever tried washing someone's hands?
No.
Probably not. But for those who did, have you realized where did they go? Or where did they come from? Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and wonderful guests. There was a young man who did that. Probably not because of his own will, but because he was asked to. And yet, he discovered something beautiful, far beyond his expectation. This young man recently graduated from the university. He was so proud of himself, so exhilarated by the achievement that he got. I did it! That's what he thought. Soon after, he went to seek an important position in a large multinational company. He passed the initial interview and then went to see the director of the company for the final interview. The director looked at his resume and he was undeniably impressed. Do you have any scholarship back in your university? Oh no, it was actually my father who financed my studies. Really? What is the job of your father? My father is a blacksmith. Wow, I'm so amazed. He might probably be doing a great job to finance you. If you don't mind, can I see your hands? And the young man did. Those hands were so soft, gentle, and so perfect. And then the director asked, have you tried helping your father in his job? The young man was a little bit embarrassed, and yet he reluctantly responded, yes, sometimes, but typically my father just wants me to study, so I don't really have much time. And I believe that they can do the job better than I do. The director nodded, apparently understanding something. And then he requested the young man, son, after this, I want you to go home and ask your father to wash his hands, and then come see me tomorrow morning. Would you be able to do that? The young man was so elated, and this is his chance to be in the job that he's been looking for, probably his dream job. And that moment, he went to his father and immediately asked to wash his hands. Of course, the father was surprised and puzzled. Why? He was happy. So with mixed emotions, he gave his hands for him to wash. And so the young man washed the hands, little by little. And so he discovered how wrinkled the hands of his father. There were scars. Some of the bruises were so painful that every time he touched it, the father flinched. That was the first time he felt how it's like for these hands to work every single time, just for them to feed and to study. There was a pang of guilt that hit him. Was this the price my father paid for the university and for my bright future? That night, after washing his father's hands, he stood in silence and tried to clean up the workshop of his father. They worked, and he talked with his father for a very long time, just to catch him. The next day, he went to the director, surprisingly with tears in his eyes. And the director asked, what did you learn? And he said, last night, I washed my father's hands. And I realized how important it is to have my parents. Because without them, I will not be the person who am I today. I will not be even here, speaking in front of the director. That's what he said. Ladies and gentlemen, it was probably not a long time ago I read this story. I'm not really sure if it's all true, but somehow it also touched my heart. Because I suddenly remembered my father, who worked far away from home in order for us to be fed and sustain our needs. I was so proud of him. And he was the pillar of our home, our strength. But yet, the moment he returned home, he was so sick. And I was full of hatred. But thankfully, our family tried managing, having our empty stomach and bleeding sweat in order for us to survive, until finally able to graduate from the university and get a job. I did it. That's what I also told myself. I didn't really realize and recognize my father, but eventually I did. The moment when I also worked far away from home, away from my friends and my family that I grew up with, where depression, loneliness, and homesickness can always occur in me. But somehow I'm thankful because I found my passion in this organization, in Toastmasters, where I know I could be positive and alive, and where I know I will always be appreciated. And as I embark to be the president of this club, I would like to wash the hands of all the people who are here today, who sacrifices their time, who tried making this club alive and upbeat. I want to say thank you, 감사합니다. And from the bottom of my heart, in my own language, salamat. Because without you, I will not be able to share my heart, and I will not be the person am I today. I will not be the speaker in the